Hey guys, I'm Dave, and today we're kicking off a series of really interesting videos. Every day I'll try to, put out an analysis on the Nasdaq for the morning. So these videos will be released early in the morning, around 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock, and I'll give you a detailed chart analysis and highlight areas of confluence for morning trades on NQ. Later on, we'll also try to include the option zones. We'll calculate the option zone after 9 o'clock in the morning. So when we add these new confluences, the video will come out a little later. So let's not waste any time. Let's go straight to the chart and see what the Nasdaq might do today. Here we are, guys. We're on the Nasdaq and today is Monday, August 18th. The first thing we're going to do is, start with a 4-hour chart. On the 4-hour chart, we can see how this very important fair value gap from the breakout at this high has been reversed. I mean, it hasn't been completely reversed, but still, here we had a wick, and here we managed to close. We do have some strong rejections, so we can say that according to the rule of highs and lows, meaning the acceptance of the candle, it hasn't been reversed, okay? Because as you can see, outside the 4-hour fair value gap, we'd never closed with the body. Here we had a wick, here we had a wick, here we had a wick, and here as well. So for now, we can say that it's reversed up to a certain point, but we really need to be very careful. This is a 4-hour chart, so the first thing we're going to do is mark the weekly liquidity at this level, which is from Wednesday the 13th, and then we'll also mark the weekly liquidity down here, which is from Monday. Okay, and so far we're good. Let's also mark the highs and lows from Friday, for that day. Alright, let's look at Friday. This is Friday's low, so that's daily liquidity. And then up here, same thing, let's go to Friday's high, which has become our daily liquidity. As you can see, we're ranging with the candle. We're still basically at 50% of the weekly candle. We're also roughly at 50% of the daily liquidity. So for now, as far as the weekly, daily, and 4-hour charts go, we're in a kind of dead zone. Let's move to the 1-hour chart, where things might be a bit easier to, understand. At the moment, we have this inverted 1-hour fair value gap, because as you can see, we managed to close the candle body below it, so theoretically we're short. We just need to see how far it goes. Remember what I told you about this 4-hour fair value gap? We're in complete uncertainty because we haven't accepted it yet. But that doesn't mean that. Since the 4-hour candle has just started, we can't go grab this daily liquidity and come back up. And this 4-hour fair value gap would still basically remain unchanged. So it's still signaling long. Let's go straight to the 15-minute chart so we can mark all our other liquidity levels. We can start from 19 hours 30 minutes and 22 seconds, which is this low right here, and we've already taken it. That would basically be the afternoon in New York. So around 19:30 minus 6, which is 1:30 p.m. US time. Okay. Then we can see how this 15-minute fair value gap is driving the short. So here too, we're slightly short, also considering this inverted. This inverted fair value gap on the 1-hour chart. So this one is really calling for a short move on the hourly time frame for now. Okay, so we've basically marked everything down. Later, I'll also show you the option zones and give you the exact numbers. Now let's take a look at what trades we can take. So, the first trade I'd like to take is to see the price roughly around the midnight level, okay? So, the mitigation of the 15-minute fair value gap to try for a short continuation from this level, aiming to grab the daily liquidity or possibly a trend continuation to reach the option zones, okay? The option zones are also called 0 DTE, and later we'll actually see what they are. The second trade is to see, in case the price keeps moving short, how it reacts at the daily liquidity. If we get a reaction, you could potentially take a trade up to the midnight level. If it breaks through the midnight, then definitely towards the daily liquidity, and for sure the option zone below. Looking at the chart for a moment, there's a bit of uncertainty, guys. It's Monday, and the price started off really strong, with London going short. The pre-market hasn't opened yet. For now, my outlook is short, so the more plausible trades are shorts, okay? I wouldn't consider taking any other trades unless there are reactions from the option zones, okay? So now let's recap the trades. Then I'll tell you the exact option zones, with the precise numbers, and then we'll wrap up the video. Alright, let's do a quick summary of the trades you can take this morning. So, the first possible trade is to look for a reaction on the daily liquidity for a continuation short, aiming for midnight, possibly daily liquidity, and potentially the options zone. The second option, which is my favorite, is to see how the price reacts up here around the midnight London open for the 15-minute value gap to take a short, take a partial at the daily liquidity, and possibly the options zone. The other possible trades, as I mentioned earlier, are retracements in the options zone. So, a short from this, from the call option one, possibly a long from this level, or possibly another long from this level. Now let's look at the option zones, also known as 0 DTE. So, the first option zone, the call, goes from 24,000.020 to 24,000.040. The put, the first put, goes from 23,630 to 23,650, while the second, put goes from 23,520 to 23,540, okay? Now that we've finished with the option zones for Nasdaq as well, I'm going to show you the option zones for the S&P. Why am I showing them to you? I'm showing them to you because they're quite important, since many times it's the Nasdaq or the S&P that leads, so we could actually see some, reactions in the option zones. As for the S&P chart, I don't trade it. I only pay attention to the option zones. We could have some SMTs, so the moment the S&P reaches certain option zones, the Nasdaq could also actually experience some pullbacks. I'll point out the S&P option zones, also known as 0 DTE. The first is 6,525 to 6,515. The second one ranges from 6,500 and 5 to 6,495. The first put ranges from 6,455 to 6,445, and the last one goes from 6,425 to 6,415. Be very careful, guys, with SMTs when it comes to the option zones, because as you've already seen, they're not always respected. We don't know which chart is leading on any given day, so please pay maximum attention. The trades you can take are the usual ones. Reactions on option zones, which could be just reactions or even trend reversals. So that's it for today's video, guys. Starting today, the video will come out a bit later, so more towards late morning, when we'll also mark the option zones. So please, if you like what we're doing, a follow, a comment, any interaction with the channel really helps us a lot. So all for today's video. I'll see you tomorrow. Hi guys.